Do you know that some people eat potatoes every day? They can't survive without them. Now, you may wonder, what's so special about potatoes? First, do you know that potatoes were considered downright evil in the past? They were seen as weird, poisonous, unneeded. Ever since its discovery, for hundreds of years, nobody liked to eat it. They were named it the devil's apple. So, how come there's such a big change? The story of potatoes started around 350 million years ago. They evolved from a poisonous ancestor plant family in the South American highland between Peru and Bolivia. Potatoes started receiving great attention in the 1500s, when the first Spanish conquistador started exploring the coast of South America. And they brought the potato plant back to Spain. And that's when potatoes first set foot on the continent of Europe. European adoptions to potatoes was slow, unimaginably slow. There are 3 reasons for this. First, it's about their eating habit. To European in the past, vegetables equals to leaves and beans. Little did they know that potatoes, like they have big stems and on the ground, like potatoes, are nutritious. And apart from eating habits, cooking style also contributed to the unpopularity of potatoes. Do you know how to cook potatoes? To Europeans at that time, they will boil the potatoes directly, with the skin being unpeeled. The taste is undoubtedly bad. And there is a bad smell. Therefore, they found potatoes disgusting. And no French fries, no baked potatoes, no mashed potatoes, no potato chips at all at that time. Rumors are the third, and the primary reasons of potatoes being so unwelcome in Europe. People claim that potatoes are food for pigs only. What's more, they accuse potato for causing sexually transmitted disease, early death, and even destroying the soil where it grew. Nobody treated it as a food, despite being hated by millions of people. Small potatoes changed the world. Without potatoes, you and I wouldn't be sitting in the hall right now today. Potatoes are a savior indeed. In the 18th centuries, people suffered from a series of poor harvests, which led to a great famine. Frederick the Great, the king of Prussia, is the first person in Europe to appreciate the benefit of potatoes. He realized that potatoes are easy to plant and could stand against harsh weather conditions. So he ordered the peasants to plant and eat potatoes. Otherwise, their nose will be sliced off. And that's how they survived from a famine. Slowly, more people are willing to plant and to eat potatoes as a staple food. They invented recipes to make potato tastier. Most remarkably, they learned that potatoes are rich in vitamin C, which can prevent disease like scurvy. Lowly potatoes, having saved the world, became widely accepted by the European and gave rise to a modern industrial horticulture. Today, there are millions of dishes with potatoes as one of the ingredients. Small potatoes, as a phrase in English, and I guess some of you may know that. It refers to something that does not seem important when compared to something else. It is not uncommon for us to hear this phrase when people using this phrase to describe themselves too. Have you ever thought of yourself as a small potato? Have you ever judged a person as a small potato? If your answer is yes, do you hold that person or yourself in contempt when you make the judgment? Next time, when you have the urge to use the term small potato, stop and think. Sometimes, no matter how insignificant a person might appear to be, its presence might be a fundamental component to collective success. Or sometimes, the person is just too humble that the person's strength and ambition shine through a particular aspect that you just haven't noticed yet. Who knows? Now, let's take a look at this picture. You may not know who he is. He is Billy Yao. What's so special about him? He's visually impaired. He couldn't see anything at all. Can you imagine him teaching? He graduated with first-class honor, and he is a successful English teacher in the school. Even people with perfect eyesight might not be able to make such achievement. His pathway was never smooth though. Upon graduation, he applied numerous teaching posts, but he was rejected by all principals. He only managed to secure his very first teaching post 6 years of perseverance. These small potatoes finally get to meet an unbiased person who knows how to unleash his potential to the fullest. His story has inspired his student, and now I hope that his story can inspire you too. No matter what hardship you are facing, no matter how small you think you are, when you wanted to give up, remember, you can be very useful, important, and successful as well. Sometimes, you just have to equip yourself and wait for the opportunity for you to shine. Even for me, I don't think I should consider myself as a small potato. I know it seems cringy to talk about myself. For me, to be honest, I don't enjoy doing outdoor sports. I have a phobia of height. Once, I was forced to join a training camp. It was a nightmare. One of the tasks is to compete with the other teams, and I have to hike up to the Lantau Peak. My teammates knew how scared I was, and they did not expect me to finish the task. Some teammates were frustrated, as we are unlikely to win the game. It was a painful experience for me to overhear some people complaining about me and asserting that I was useless. On our way up, I plucked up my courage to overcome my fear. I tried to focus on the ground instead of looking down the steep slopes. I told myself I was in a studio with seemingly authentic set of designs. The brainwashing works wonders, to a point that I did not fall behind the teams. And I even helped pull one of struggling teammates up to reach the summit of the Lantau Peak. And I was not the small potatoes they expect me to be. What about you? Do you consider yourself as a small potato? Small potatoes, like the potato in history, could be very important indeed. From today onwards, please appreciate potatoes more. Appreciate people that you have once seen as a small potato. And you, yourself, even everything and everyone is important and beautiful in a way. Thank you.